We have reached the part of the podcast going to be talking some NFL, and who better to come on than David, aka Better DP21. David, how you doing today, my man?
Doing great, man. I've just officially started my holiday break for Christmas, New Year, Hanukkah, all the things. Like I'm shutting it down until the 5th of January for when it comes to actual work.
So I got the perfect activity for you and the little lady friend to do this week.
Okay.
There is a movie you can watch called The X's of Christmas Past, where your friend himself was an extra in the movie.
Yeah.
You can catch me for half a millisecond in the same outfit, in the sweatshirt and the red hat, walking in the Christmas tree when they're searching Christmas trees. You got to be looking because I'm like deep in the background, but you can see me in there, my friend.
All right. Well, remind me the name again. X's of Christmas Past.
X's of Christmas Past.
All right.
And I'll tell you what, you can only watch it on Tubi. That's how big of a hit it was. Not on Lifetime, not in Hallmark. You got to go all the way deep down to fucking Tubi to get me to get it there, dude.
So, I'm in. Who's got a Tubi login? Come on, Jim. Somebody send me a Tubi login.
I don't even know what the fuck Tubi is, dude. Interesting week. Week 16 coming up. This is kind of where we can kind of see a little bit of a separation. Big win by your Bills. You're definitely rocking the Bills. Question to you is this: if they don't win it this year, is McDermott out of a job?
Probably. I think so. I mean, you have the clearest path right now. You got all the pieces. I mean, minus maybe like a true wide receiver one in the room. But you got pretty much everything else there. Now, granted, we've had some injuries, a lot of sustained, but the team's still showing up. Josh still throwing on his cape. I mean, I definitely could see a world where, yeah, they probably put McDermott on the outs. Got to fall to somebody sometimes. It's either him or Brady, one of the two, I would imagine.
I really don't like your offensive coordinator. I've tried to be the biggest Brady proponent as long as I can.
Yeah.
And like last week, we talked about the difference, how the Patriots struggle, and Wilton Williams is not in the lineup, and just to run the goddamn ball and they come out throwing. And they had that huge deficit. And when they made that comeback in the second half, what did they do? They're running the goddamn ball.
Right.
So, I mean, I just, and earlier when they're playing the Bengals, where the fuck is Dalton Kincaid? Like, I'm looking for Dalton
the whole time. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I really have a big issue with Brady and everything. But let's jump right into it. We each have 2 bets and a juicy TD parlay. First bet, where are you going, my friend?
Yeah, so first bet on the board that I'm looking at is actually Jacksonville Jaguars in town here, Denver Broncos, right? So, current line is -3. Some books might have 3.5, but the opener was pretty much near 3, and it hasn't really moved really significantly, right? And the way I look at this is, it's really a consensus of showing, a moderate Jags lean and a public pick percentage here, because again, it's a heavy favorite with Broncos at home. Now my metrics and the numbers are all showing pretty much even DVOA across the board for both Jacksonville and Denver. Your rushing offense, Jacksonville number 17, Broncos 16. Rushing defense, Jacksonville number 5, Broncos number 6. Passing offense, Jacksonville 14, Broncos 13. Passing defense, Jacksonville 8, Denver 6. I mean, it is literally just across the board an even game for me. But where the separation comes in is a few things. Broncos defense has been strong. They're going to be without Brandon Jones being placed on our IR. He's a key tackler, turnover guy. The offense has been pretty efficient with Knicks, playing pretty well. But, Jaguars are no slouch here. They've been 5-1 since acquiring Jacoby Myers, averaging close to 32 points in that span. Offense is really trending up here. I know Bashaw Tutin has underwent surgery and he's out, so they're not going to have as much of a 1-2 punch, if you will. But still seeing a lot of impact, in the backfield for Jacksonville. And I think ETN is just going to get, a lot of run going in this game. And Jaguars defense has been ranked favorably in those key metrics that I just kind of mentioned, right? So, there's motivation on both sides here. Both teams are playing for playoff positioning. Broncos for the top seed, Jaguars for the division and seeding leverage, right? So, the weather's supposed to be wonderful. I mean, we're out here in Denver looking at like 50 and 60 and sunny like all week, through Christmas, which is really odd. But I mean, the weather should be in their favor as well. But yeah, so I kind of look at this as just, contrarian leverage here, right? I mean, I think the market is really overrating Denver at home edge against the spread here, right? They see the Broncos as clearly superior, but the Jaguars trend of that, 5-1 against the spread suggests the spread isn't as big as a true strength differential in my book. Also, why I'm taking the money line, right? They're either going to win this game outright or not. And I just don't think the key number of 3 is going to be, that highly favored in this kind of a game for them. So I also think there's also an underrating of Jaguars defensive metrics that are in the Jags' favor. They have, a lot of scoring opportunities. They're going to be better than they're credentialed. And just kind of going from that direction. So I think it's going to be a tight AFC matchup, but I really do see, avoiding the popular home favorite side as being the better play, on the board for this matchup. So, give me the Jaguars plus 155. I say it all the time. Everybody's heard me all season. This is a money line sport disguised as a spread sport.
Mm-hmm. And also, you mentioned Jacoby Myers. The big thing is Surtain doesn't travel.
Yeah,
like, he doesn't travel to the slot. He locks on the outside. Absolute great spot for him. And also, everyone's due. I mean, they've won how many games in a row? That's just unsustainable. Winning and covering. They're due for a little bit of
aggression. Yeah,
I will take the. I'll do it, man. I'm in. I like the Jags here too. My next one, I'm going to a player prop. Give me Devon Achane here over 27.5. I think we're seeing a discounted number because of the quarterback switch in Miami with Quentin Ewers starting the game. People are going to think Ewers is going to throw the ball downfield. Still has a noodle of an arm. Achane is the focal point of the offense, second on the team in targets, on targets and receiving yards, actually leads them in receptions. With Ewers, I still think we're going to see the shorter, quick passing game where Achane thrives in, especially early on. A lot of dump passes get Achane some rhythm. Matchup sets up perfectly. Bengals have been awful defending running backs in the passing lane, allowing the 3rd most receiving yards to the position, 6th most receptions, 82% catch rate, and by DVOA ranks 32nd against the running backs. In the passing game, Achane had over 67 yards receiving, has cleared this number in 7 games this year. Everything points to the Miami attacking the Bengals with a short passing game. Lions on perfect. I'll take Achane over 27.5 receiving yards at a discount. Next one, my friend. You're going to jean shorts.
Yeah, so
jean shorts, baby.
Taking a look at the Chiefs playing away at Tennessee Titans on the board. I'm taking KC -3. Basically, this line opened up at obviously -10 higher in favor of KC. It's obviously course corrected with Mahomes being out with his ACL, so that's the catalyst on that side. But it's such a catalyst in such a way that I don't believe the public money of 80% of the money on Tennessee is the value here in this game, right? And so when the market panic reprices a QB injury this hard, you're getting a bargain on the better overall team, and now you're paying for a key number in 3. So, that is kind of how I kind of lined up, this in terms of, a lot of adjustments. I mean, my Devoa numbers are really showing, just KC being a lopsided favorite in this game. Rushing offense number 10, rushing defense number 9, passing offense number 7. Obviously, that was with Mahomes prior to the QB switch. Passing defense number 18. But on the opposite end, Tennessee is in the bottom, 3rd of all metrics in Devoa. rushing offense 25, rushing defense 23, passing offense 31, passing defense 29. I mean, it is the bottom tier against really kind of a top tier metric team. And, so the headline story is Mahomes' ACL, right? And the Chiefs season ending with a playoff miss, which, unprecedented in his era and being there. I get the public bettors naturally are expected, a big line move toward Tennessee after the injury, but, jumping this much, and having such a key number in 3, I mean, it just doesn't add up to me as a strong indicator of where it needs to be. The public is piled onto the home dog versus a team without its franchise quarterback. But, my indicator obviously is seeing the public money, 80% of the money on Tennessee. I have always said fade the public in those situations. The books coming after their money. The Chiefs, my model predictions here, are showing they could easily win this game by 2 scores. Like I have them at basically a -12 in my overall numbers and what projections show. And, so anything over 3, I mean, that's just money in the book to me. So, there's a lot of public narrative by the Mahomes injury, and so there's been a big casual backing of the Titans and their spread. But, a lot of sharp handicappers from what I'm seeing is the line is already priced where it needs to be and why it hasn't fallen even more sharply from this point forward. So, I think also backup Gardner Minshew, obviously his track record is more competent. I mean, it's not elite, but, he's definitely not going to, with the time that he's had to like be under center and practice with everybody, 0 playoff implications under, no pressure, right? Like This game becomes more workflow, than a competitive spot for any team. But really, this offense is likely to be a lot of ball control, field position oriented, maybe lower explosive plays for KC. But this defense still ranks better than the Titans in yards, points allowed, giving KC a very structural edge, even with the backup QB. So, that's how I'm looking at this game and why, I'm taking KC -3. It is such a money number for them.
Yeah, Minshew against this defense. Minshew is going to eat it. You're not going to be able to run the ball. Chiefs can't fucking run the ball. This is going to be a huge Travis Kelce game. They're bad against the tight end. They don't have the speed to take to guard Xavier Worthy. And you're getting an insane discounted price. And it's at the point right now, if you're the Titans, do you really want to win this game? As crazy as it sounds, do you really want to win this game? There's an elite pass rusher coming out from, I'm spacing on the kid. He's the best kid in the draft. That's the guy you want, and with the uncertainty of what the Giants are going to do, what the Browns are going to do, they could be in line to get that kid. So why would they want to win this game? So I totally agree. I like the Chiefs here. My next one, and it is grimy, and I'm disrespecting Josh Allen, and I'm sorry. But before I go into this, there's this thing going around on TikTok. Did you see that Josh Allen's doing an interview, and I forget what the podcast, and he's like, yeah, he looks really serious. He goes, yeah, I didn't drink for 11 years. And these guys are like, oh, wow, really? And he goes, yeah, then I turned 12.
When I was a kid.
No, he goes, then I turned 12.
Then I turned 12, right.
Okay, gambling is all about buying low, selling high. The Bills are coming off a massive comeback win and being priced clearly as the class of the AFC. But here's the thing. Teams coming off a 14-plus comeback are 59-78 ATS in their next game over the last 10 years. Josh Allen as a road favorite of 7.5 or more is just 22% against the number. Small sample size when laying 10 or plus on the road, but it's only 1 in 4. Zooming out, the micro trends support Cleveland. Since 2020, home dogs 7 or more, 81, 52, and 3 ATS, double-digit home dogs, 27, 16, and 1 during that span. Teams that lost by 28 points or more the previous week cover at 54%. When those teams are underdogs, jumps to 57% with 11% ROI. So look, at the end of the day, that's just one of those bets you make. You get 11% ROI if you just historically make that bet. From a matchup perspective, this sets up better than the market suggests. Cleveland blitzes at the 5th highest rate in the league, and Josh Allen historically has been vulnerable under pressure. In his career, 49% completion rate versus pressure, 2 TD to 1 INT ratio. Buffalo averages 29 points per game this season, but they have played 4 games against teams that blitz at a top 5 rate. And those points per game drops to 21. And in those games, the Bills are just 1-4 ATS with 3 outright losses. With outright losses to the Dolphins and the Falcons on the road. So now they're playing another team that's top 5 blitz rate like the Dolphins and Falcons on the road. Bills want to run the ball. That's where Cleveland excels. Second DVOA against the run. Bills rank 31st defending the run in DVOA. If Cleveland can establish the run, it takes pressure off of Sanders, shortens the game. Jenkins will be the primary run, lines up great. When you look at it, man blocking, Bills allow 4.35 yards. The other concept he goes heavily on, outside zone, Bills allow 5.32 yards per carry. That's how the Browns are going to stay ahead. They can chains, control the tempo, and in fact, that's what this Cleveland defense has been significantly better at home. This number is just too good to pass up. It's 10.5. This is a bet. This is what you do. You place this bet in, just put it in the corner TV, just set a timer every 30 minutes, check the score. Yeah. Don't watch it because you're going to go crazy. And I know people are going to bring up they got blown out by the 49ers. That was a special teams game. Their special teams fucked that game up. Browns actually outgained the 49ers in that game, as crazy as it sounds.
I feel like you bet on the Browns that game. I feel like I remember you bitching that weekend.
I was bitching that weekend. I never wrote the bitch that weekend. And you know what? It was funny. I'm just going to let you know. This is how much you're my boy. On my live stream, which you were on 2 weeks ago, mm-hmm. I said, I am purely putting this bet in just so I can send text messages to David
this weekend. Yep. I remember that.
No, that's what I said this Tuesday.
This one.
I'm purposely putting this game on the betting script just so I can send messages to David bitching. The Las Vegas Raiders plus 14.5.
Appreciate you.
So
appreciate you, man.
Let's go ahead. Let's get to our parlay. Oh, Jesus, wrong parlay. Where's our parlay? There's our parlay. Plus 700 parlay. Why do you like old Rico?
Yeah, so, we're looking at the same game, aren't we here? I got Rico for anytime TD. A lot of this has to do with game script plus his usage, right? So this isn't a quote-unquote star player type of bet, especially the way that Carolina's offense is kind of built to live on, explosive perimeter throws and things of that nature. But they've consistently leaned towards simplifying the decision tree. Downhill runs, quick hitting concepts, minimizing negative plays. And that's where Rico's role shows up, right? So he's a decisive north-south runner, comfortable in tight spacing, trusted in ball security, situations. So he's a drive finisher, right? There's going to be a lot of game compression where they could probably play from ahead briefly or keep the game within a score, but that only increases Dowdle's, snap share and touch probability near the goal line. So there's definitely some efficiency angles, from that end. I know the inefficiency angle that people are going to look at here is, he's not the marquee player. He's not featured in, highlight packages, right? Things of that nature. But this bet makes sense because Carolina's offense favors low variance scoring attempts. Dowdle fits that goal line closeout profile. The price reflects kind of a role underestimation a little bit. Not so much from a lack of opportunity though. So, he's a classic anytime TD value play. Scoring chances are going to come from the game flow and field position. And, and if Carolina reaches the end zone a few times, where I believe they will in this game, he's got a very real path to being the guy who finishes the drive. I also really like Carolina to win the game and take the division here. So I'm kind of double down on Carolina because there was some trend before the season even kicked off about every 10 years Carolina wins this division. So it's that year, right? It's and I think they did it in 2015 and I think they did it in 2005. and it's 2025, and it's their year to take it. And I have an open futures bet for them at, I think it's like plus 400 or something to win the division. And I think they put a stamp on it. It's the signature this weekend.
Ooh, look at you shooting your shot, dude.
Yeah, man.
Look at you shooting your shot. So just real quick, when we look at Rico Dottle, the man blocking is his number one run type that he does 29.6% of the time, and the Bucks allow 5.98 yards per attempt. I mean, Jesus, dude. Like, that sets up pretty good for Rico. So his best run, allowing close to 6. So I can definitely see Rico going in the box. My one in this one, and look, I'm just going the positive touchdown regressive angle here. Ibuka leads the Bucks in red zone targets. He hasn't scored since the 9th of November, but his last 5 games, these are his targets: 9, 8, 8, 9, 7. He's due for a TD. I think with Evans back, it's going to take a little bit of pressure off of him. He's going to get the better matchup. Baker has shown a knack for going to him in the red zone, hence why he leads the team in targets. And it's just kind of that thing. If you get so many targets, you're eventually due for a touchdown. This isn't the guy who's getting 2 targets, 3 targets, 4 targets, 0 targets. This is a guy that consistently is leading the Buccaneers in targets. He's due for a touchdown. You get this at plus 700 over at our friends at Hard Rock. David, I'd like to thank you for taking time out of your schedule. I'm taking a 2-week break, brother. 2-week sabbatical here. I'm going to be on vacation in the heartbread of Michigan. So, we will reconvene in 2 weeks. So that's going to be, Jesus, dude. Is that going to be the first week of the playoffs? Yeah.
Yeah, more than likely.
Wild card weekend. We will be back for wild card weekend. Appreciate this run that you've been on. Appreciate taking time out of your day to do all this stuff. I know you're a busy man. So why don't you tell everyone where they can find you on social media, my friend?
Yeah, as always, really appreciate being here. Hope everybody has a great holiday season, gets to also rest and recharge like ourselves. That being said, you want to talk any shop? Anybody's looking for key matchups they're looking at, please don't hesitate to reach out. Instagram, better DP21, as you can see there. Also on X, the same handle.
Make sure to give that man a follow. We'll be back in 2 weeks, and happy holidays. And dude, make sure you check me out on the X's of Christmas Past. Or just a fucking phenomenal movie. Check that out, bro.
Phenomenal. A cameo. We got to find it.
Yeah, 5-second cameo. You got to find me with me in the background. All right, brother. Best of luck in your guys. We'll talk, man. Later, dude.